We may all wonder how someone like Zohran can be so popular, about to become mayor of New York City. But you hit the streets recently, and I think this next clip explains why.
Jails are so racist.
They're so racist.
Is it racist for a judge to say, hey, you have a history of violent crime?
Yes.
And to keep them because of that reason?
Yes.
Your criminal history should not play any role whatsoever.
I don't think so, no.
And I don't know if I know anyone who's never committed crime.
Well, just because you commit crime doesn't make you a criminal.
Right.
That the focus of the criminal system, the judicial system, should be less on safety and more on racial equity.
That the judicial system should be more on equity?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's the affluent New Yorkers who are the biggest problem, isn't it? It's always the people in the better parts of Manhattan who've got these wacky views and they vote accordingly.
Yeah, and by the way, this is the reason why Mamdani said he wants to abolish jails. This is what he said. These are his words. And of course, that comports with what you heard on that video. Judicial system is racist. The judicial system is out to get black people. Well, this is why when Mamdani ran against Cuomo for the Democratic nomination, he couldn't win the black and Hispanic vote, because they understand the ramifications of those statements. I mean, the other part of that video was after you watch these crazy leftists talk about destroying and upending the judicial system, I went to Harlem. Actually, the best part is I asked this one person, I go, if I went to Harlem, would they agree with you? And he goes, of course they would. So then I went to Harlem. I was there for hours. Not a single person there said that it's racist. Not a single person there said we should abolish jails. They specifically said that these kind of policies, which makes our city, our neighborhoods more unsafe, they're on the tip of the sword when it comes to radicalization of changing of judicial and policing in the city. They're the ones who feel it more than I do in the affluent Upper West Side of New York. That's why he can't win the black and Hispanic vote. He doesn't get it. He's so far removed from reality.
Well, Ami, he doesn't need it, because if the odds are accurate, if the polls are accurate, he is going to romp it in. Now, Donald Trump received quite the reception in Japan. He loves Japan, and Japan seems to love him back. The president lavished praise on Japan's first female leader, Prime Minister Takaichi, welcoming her pledge to accelerate a military build-up. And he also signed a trade and rare earth deal in Tokyo. Ami, he's also going to be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by Japan. So it's been a love-in today.
Yeah, he sure loves that when leaders say they're going to nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize. That's his jam. You know, they were late for the press conference. It was so cute because they were both watching the World Series. Hey, Shohei, let's go Dodgers. Look, yeah, this is great. This is again, this is Trump at his best. You know, the new prime minister is an accolade of the former prime minister who loved Donald Trump. He had a great relationship with him in his first administration before he was tragically killed. And this is a continuation, I think, of that relationship with that 4-year hiatus in between with Joe Biden. And I think what you see is you see him in action, right? So first of all, I think what hasn't been said by a lot of people is that historically Japan has really spent very little to nothing on defense, kind of an outgrowth of their warlike ways in World War II. But they've been spending 1% of their GDP on national defense. Well, he's going to get them to move that number up to 5%. That is game changing. That is NATO-level spending. And that is exactly what they need to do to counterbalance China's predations. And like you mentioned before, he has been laser focused on the mineral rights deals around the world, including with Japan and other nations in Europe, to create this iron chokehold around China, the entire periphery on China. He is setting them up to make sure that China is not going to make its influence known in that region and in the world.
And he got this reception, and you mentioned the history there, the reception very different to what Joe Biden got not too long ago. He really didn't have anyone of note greeting him when he touched down. It was a very different fanfare this time around. And importantly, the president also announced that Toyota is going to be spending $10 billion investing in manufacturing plants in the US. I I don't have long army, but that is a big win.
No, look, no question about it. And like I said before repeatedly, like I'm not a tariff guy, but if using tariffs as a tactic versus a strategy, I'm all for it. If you're able to use tariffs to force people to invest in our country, yeah, this is the result of that.
Ami Horowitz, thank you so much for your time.